Welcome back, everybody.
You can maybe do a kitty fix now.
We can.
Oh,
I'll get out of the way.
Yeah, you might wanna. Though he's been really good with you lately.
hey, buddy. You look like a loaf of white bread. Did you know that?
Here's the kitty fix that you request. Watch, they probably all are like on a bathroom break.
Can you say hello to everybody? Oh, I went to sniff these chippies. Oh, these are strange.
Say hi. You just never look in the right spot. Never.
He's like, I want one of those. I want one. Can I have one?
Cheap for kitty.
For me.
You monster.
Hi, Bobby. How are you doing? Oh, you know, I'm all washed out because I am so shiny.
Off you go. Graceful.
His own sweet time.
Usually he can't wait to get out, but then when I'm like, all right, off you go, he's like, I don't know about that. Oh, man.
Also, duck and plum sauce. What?
Yeah, that's very
That's
interesting
crazy.
sounding. And even more interesting sounding as a chip.
We've never really had the fruit sauces on meat thing, though.
I'm gonna hide us just for a second.
Never even tried it.
What are you doing, man?
I am like sweat buckets. Freaking PT and slender and being on edge for no reason in this game. Yeah, sweet and savory are things that I feel like we don't mix that often in America for some reason. I had a protein like bar thing from Trader Joe's that instead of being sweetened with any sort of extreme amounts of sugar or like fructose or anything, it was sweetened with plum. No,
Weird.
date. How did I confuse those two things? I'm not sure. And it was really a weird experience, even though I feel like it's the healthier way to do it, to sweeten things with actually naturally sweetened stuff. But it was really weird.
Well, honey's naturally sweet. That's what you normally put on bars.
Which I also think is kind of weird, because you can just, it just is
No,
weird
because
to
then it
adjust
binds,
to, you know?
too.
I suppose a date does too.
I guess. I'm sure I would like it if I tried it, but I just can't, like, taste it in my mouth.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time figuring out what it would be like.
Of course, we never even did, like, cranberry sauce for turkey on Thanksgiving.
And I don't know why. Who doesn't like it? Everybody in our family, apparently. Alright, are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw out there right now that I refuse to cry.
I have a feeling this game is going to affect me a lot. Maybe more
Yes.
than you. But we'll see. I'm a ma'am now? And it was a woman crying, which is interesting to me because Coda is a dude, apparently.
Supposedly. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Bacon brie cranberry sauce baguettes.
That does not sound like a thing for me.
I think I would like that.
I think you would too. Alright, are we gonna be quick, quiet, or brutal? I'm not a brutal sort. I'm not a quick sort because I tend to stumble my words. I could be quiet though. Although I'm clumsy, so I don't know. Interesting. Oh, that's a lot of press. Just charge on through. No, you won't. I am good at not focusing on you. Tunnel vision. It looks so sad.
3 dots. Hello, Coda.
And of course, it's the machine.
Oh, I didn't plug us back in.
Oh, I was trying to figure out why it was odd.
It stopped groaning. That's good. Oh! No, it didn't. That pattern of 3 dots was in many locations throughout the game.
You stopped feeding us!
Who am I talking to?
Two. You're talking to the machine.
But the machine is me.
No. We've always been talking to ourselves.
So. I have no idea.
Three again. One. Now, what I'm not understanding is who the people are.
People who liked his games, I imagine.
Nobody played
Or
his
friends.
games.
Obviously people played his games, because this guy played his games. The people who could have played his games.
Yeah, but the could-haves wouldn't be unhappy because they didn't.
He's already very wrapped up within his own mind. Are you being invaded, or is that the game? I hope it's the game. Well, they won't let me walk through this time.
You have to deliver your speech. You're supposed to talk to the people, remember?
Hmm. Water. I don't know what to do here. I'm leaning towards one.
Okay.
I don't think it... I don't know. Did it deliberately hurt you or no? I don't know.
Two.
Two?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, I don't think anything we say ever actually matters. Except for the few times that it did. I mean, I refuse to destroy the machine. So I guess it leaves me with two.
Why do you refuse to destroy the machine?
Because the machine is the person, it's his soul. And if the machine... Bloody hell, have I been wearing this backwards this whole time?
We've done that before.
And if we just destroy what he creates, maybe he'll create again. But if we destroy him, he'll never create again.
Yeah, but if he's broken, then all
Can
that
always be
exists.
Fuck. Where's my necklace? There it is. The machine can always be fixed. The stuff we can never get back, but
I'm with Random on this one.
But if we destroy the machine, then it'll never make any work ever.
Right. But it will have already have had work.
But if the whole problem is that it can't do any work anymore. I don't know. I get what you're both saying. You can't give up on the machine.
Do what you want to do. I would choose 2.
You said you
No,
would choose
I would
one.
choose 1. Sorry. What's your choice?
Majority rules in this one. The stage.
And no machine.
That gorgeous stage. It's not as pretty this time.
Without the lights.
The lights are off. Oh! What? That surprised me. The house is lit, but not the stage. Okay.
Remember, you can click to fire the gun.
I know. I'm choosing not to, okay? I'm a pacifist. Can I go backstage? No. No more hiding backstage, apparently. Fine. Fine. Heavy-handed, but fine. Oh, I can't get off the stage either. I'm forever performing.
There's a Shakespeare quote about that.
All the world's a stage and the people merely players? By shooting the world and destroying it? We'll make sure the world is known forever.
What does Coda want?
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at
I
the
don't care
time that
what
I
Coda
first
wants.
played
Now
this
it's about
game,
what I want.
shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation.
Or send him further in. Ooh.
And so,
I never
as I'm
chose.
thinking this, I realized that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Oh, I thought for a second there that I actually walked out, but...
So I started showing Coda's work to people.
How?
I took
Where
this
did you-
one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Hey, Av.
Lamppost.
Mm-hmm. I can't.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good.
Kind of douchey to go
that I
behind
am
his back,
good.
though.
When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
Sounds like there's a mob.
Or
An audience? Which really
Could be.
what's the difference?
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
where is his light source?
Doesn't matter.
Does it? No, it doesn't.
Now it's crying again.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
This room actually has a maze in it.
Don't skip us through it. Like
I
you
can't
did the
do
last
mazes.
time.
Woo!
Except that
Surprised me.
all the
A little
walls
bit.
of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise. So the experience is really miserable.
Oh my god, I love
The game
that
goes
so much,
beyond
though.
not
And you
being
get
meant to
sent
be
back.
played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all.
Because we're not supposed to be here.
But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
We're okay, Mike. We're okay. It's back to being a mob and not somebody crying.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever.
Well, if I
I
want
had to
clean
cut
a
it
house
off so that you
forever.
could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
A beautiful idea. I love it.
I like how the narrator is constantly being like, his idea wasn't right. So I'm going to change it to make it right. You're not a very good friend, narrator.
What are you talking about? He's the kind of friend who always knows what's best. Please don't tell me that we have to figure out a number thing.
I was about to say
The
2-4
only way
blah blah
past
blah
this
from
challenge
PT.
is to randomly
Wrong
guess
game.
the 6-digit code.
But I'm going
Like
to
the
do it
invisible
for
maze, it's frustrating to me because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me except
Isn't
a
that
lot
life?
of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here.
you. Life.
I'll
You're
put the
just
code on the
throwing
ground to
shit
you
out
here,
there.
though, so that we can move on.
Hoping.
One, 6.
sounds like a theater to me. It sounds like a crowd. Or a gymnasium or something.
I'm loving these biscuits and gravy chips. Oh my god.
They're surprisingly good.
Still hasn't gotten rid of my nacho craving, but what can? Except for nachos.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point,
He doesn't
there's
want you
actually just
in.
no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problems.
It's not your problem to fix.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open
I
this
love
door
how
for
they've
you,
done
so
this story.
let me do that.
I do
Because
too.
he's such
I do
a-
too.
Not relatable. What is the lit term for it? When it's a nice narrator and you like have kind feelings toward the narrator.
Well, he's not a necessarily bad person.
No, but
He's
now I'm
just-
hating him. Like you go from
See, I still can't go that far because
Oh,
I can
I
still
can.
fully understand why he's doing what he's doing. Do I think it's wrong? Yes, but I don't think it doesn't come from a place of malice.
We'll talk after.
There's some selfishness also.
We'll talk after.
Yes, we will because we haven't seen the end yet.
These are my chips.
I can't go
bucko.
far enough to say I don't
For
like
not
it,
understanding this game? I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution.
though. You
I
clearly think
feel
so.
it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
He's the doctor.
Well, we're also going into that as art for the consumer or as art for you thing. Sometimes you're not supposed to know what things meant because it was never for you. Which is something that I have a lot of issues with. Like, I understand it and I agree with it, but it will drive me up the wall for all of time. There are stories, I can't think of any right now, but there are stories where I looked at them and I'm like, what does this mean though? What does that mean? And I have to know. Yes. Sometimes it's bad storytelling. Sometimes it's really ambiguous and you just can't tell. And other times I think it's, it's supposed to be open to interpretation, and I hate that. That whole author is dead concept. I want to know the canon, what you were thinking, reason for why you did things, even though I know that that's
Well, and I still think that
kind of wrong.
as a player or reader or viewer, I can still have my interpretation while also knowing yours.
Yes. And I can be I disagree. Like how J.K. Rowling says that she thinks that they shouldn't have gotten together. Baloney, J.K. Rowling. You did it the right way.
Yeah.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than
Yes.
me.
Which is why it's
But he
tricky.
stopped and left. And it felt somehow like I had failed.
Does everything look the same, or are we walking in circles?
I mean, not quite, because when we first walked in this room, didn't you notice that there were I think we're
Yeah.
kind of going up and around?
This is the first time we've really ascended, other than that one staircase.
I wasn't gonna say anything about it yet. But you'll notice that the
course not.
ascension is darker than the descent was. Just saying.
But what's the music?
Creepy.
No.
Okay, there is some like godliness, but I also think it's creepy. It's ominous.
No.
It's got an angelic choir of ominousness.
Yes, so what is that actually?
Ominous. They're juxtaposing. Who knows? They could be chanting demonic stuff. I don't know.
Where did I screw up?
I mean, you said right at the
I'm
beginning
the
he
reason
was
that
too
you stopped
eager.
making games, aren't I?
Yep.
It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
Don't worry, Davey. Coda's still making games. He's just not telling you, and he's going under a different name. His new name is Denouement.
I don't think I ever told you this,
This looks
but
like
when I
Stone
took your
Parable.
work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
What is that?
Oh.
And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important.
Curator.
They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Chips are getting to me. I don't know if he means that literally or if, I felt compelled to add meaning to it.
Or ends to them?
Well, because he said,
Right.
yeah. So I don't know if he means that literally or like he felt compelled to make games differently from how he wanted to.
Yeah, but Davey does change his games too.
Yes, I know. That's why I don't know. It could go either way.
And then you stopped. And I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
Good job, Coda.
Project yourself. Code is like, oh man, you are.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
I'm sorry if I'm moving too fast. I realize that like sometimes I scan things, I don't read them fully. If that makes sense.
Don't say anything.
Back to darkness.
It's a bigger dark room this time.
Yes, I noticed that too. Oh, kind of spooky, but that's okay.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work. Is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And
Ask, do not.
so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you, truly
Clearly,
and
you don't
deeply,
understand.
will you start making games again? Please. I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because
A little
I
heavy.
know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please.
Oh,
I'm
it's moving.
fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
All I want is to know I'm going to be okay, which is why the future self should come back to your past self and say, it's going to be okay.
I still think it works better if your past self tells your future. Because then you can bring that up at any time. Any moment.
Now it's a cathedral. No, it's a train station. Train station. I've never been to one, but
I've seen them in the
I've
movies.
seen them. There's no time, though.
Why would there be?
It's a purposeful omission.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a
Oh
disease.
my god, can you pause? That's why you don't want your future self coming in and telling you that you're going to be okay. That you're good.
Because it won't be enough?
Because it doesn't get at what's making you not feel okay.
Well, that's true. So you can't
It's
combat.
false, and
Yes.
it's, you know...
It's the
then
easy
you
way
need
out
more,
of
more,
being
more,
like.
more. You always need it.
Well, I feel like you often always need that. I
But
mean,
it-
isn't that what the whole Buddhist concept is? Is to just like accept. It's very hard to do that. You always want more, and it's very hard to be somebody who. I think it's very hard to be somebody who wants things. Okay, how do I say this? It is hard for me to reconcile accepting the present and also having ambition for the future. Because sometimes I'm like, am I wanting that for the right reason, though? Or do I just want it? If I'm happy with myself, that is the hardest thing in the world for me to reconcile about that, like, concept.
If you want it in the moment and it's true to you in the moment, then it's valid.
But then
Are
wanting
you
things
living
shouldn't
in
be a
that
problem.
future?
Well, okay.
I mean, we're talking a little bit about different things.
Slightly, yes.
Maybe let's just keep playing.
Maybe let's just keep playing. I've never been to one of these. It's quite beautiful, though. Are we at King's Cross? Bugger. I wanted to go back there to take a better screenshot. Fine. I'm gonna have to crop all of these to make them worthwhile.
Won't even tell you where it's going.
Yeah. Oh, just climb aboard. It'll be fine. Oh, how cushy. Is this what trains are like? Ew, you have to face the person. That makes me uncomfortable. Who are talking? Are these just like people talking?
Yeah, it's just background dialogue again.
It looks like a place that's connected to King's Cross.
Interesting.
Solution. Solution. Solution.
Oh my god, it's gorgeous.
I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons.
There were windows on the
Even
outside of the
now,
house, weren't there?
the disease is
Yes.
telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
I always go left. This music is beautiful.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for. And so I'm just gonna... Okay.
Oh, I thought we were back at the desert village.
I think we are.
always assume that things are about to kill me. I thought they were coming in, and I was like, no, no, no.
No clock.
Mm-hmm. The bird song is beautiful. I swear the exact same tone as in WoW. Like the exact same sound bite.
Oh my god, we're gonna kill ourselves.
We're going to ascend. Damn it. He will fall through instead.
Or maybe we'll just fall over. Or maybe we'll never reach it at all.
It's getting closer.
Got a sweater on and I'm still all goose pimpled.
It feels like Journey.
The music was very similar in the last little section too. I felt the tone it evoked.
That's
Even-
not like a thing I would say. Evoked. What an evoked tone. Oh, because you do say evocative.
Yes. I had a reason.
English, you suck. Not the English. The English language. It's very confusing. I'm going to walk through the small walls.
Hold on a minute. Alright, what's gonna happen? We're gonna ascend, we're gonna fall over. Are we gonna descend?
I like the weird places where it tears. Because like this is a perfect looking corridor,
So right there.
and then right there it tears, indicating that we're gonna go up. Because is that the only tile that looks different? Yes. Both, actually.
Photo. Screenshot.
Looks like a brain.
Got quite strident.
Turn back. Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going. But the cave goes for miles and
So overall, I really liked it. I think I just couldn't identify with the character well enough to cry, though.
I think we got too stuck in our heads.
The whole game was stuck in its head.
No. You and we got too critical. Started thinking too critically. Didn't
I don't
just
think
feel
so.
Sad.
I mean, I felt bad for him, but I didn't...
Which one?
The narrator. But I didn't feel like...
I found it interesting that he called it a disease.
Mm-hmm.
My disease.
Mm-hmm. But I just think I couldn't identify with him well enough to be like...
I don't necessarily have to identify with a character to feel sad, though, for them. Like, to cry for them.
It didn't
I'm
strike me as being that tragic.
too angry with him, I think, to cry for him.
Yes, I'm too annoyed by him, maybe? I feel worse for Coda.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that I am more the Coda type of... I was talking to Sin the other day, and I wrote a book when I finished it when I was 15. Finished the whole thing. And loved it. And to this day, I still love it. But it's not done. It's not ready. I mean, if you were to read it right now, chronologically, it doesn't make sense because there are, like, different parts to it. And I said to him that the only reason I even continue to think about it and occasionally work on it and want to get it published someday is for me. I don't give a crap whether anybody reads it, whether they like it, whether they hate it. Like, I don't care. It's for me. And so, I think in that way, I could identify with Coda more than the narrator, which is why I'm more sad for him. And while they have this whole the author is dead thing, I don't know. I kind of hate how people will, like, twist your work and turn it into something different. Like, yes, to each their own, they should all have different interpretations and stuff, but to the point where sometimes they'll be like, well, you know, you're not right. Just because you wrote it, that doesn't mean you have ownership over it.
I think you have ownership of your own part in it. And part of that is that you wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is your baby. You created it.
Mm-hmm.
But every reader also has their own stake in it and their own interpretation, which I think is just as valid.
But
and you
was
can't
it-
discount either or any.
No, I agree. But what is it therefore just as valid for a narrator to change parts of the game? Because he thought it made it better. Because his interpretation of it was this, and therefore this should have happened.
Well, the difference is that you can respond, but you cannot affect the original.
Well, I mean, yeah, a game and it, but mods do that.
Yeah.
I know, I agree. A lot of thoughts, and I don't even know what they are because they're all just kind of stuck in my head. I mean, yes, we all want outside validation. I think very few people don't want that. And I'm not saying that if people liked my book that I wouldn't be happy.
Right.
Or if anything I were to ever create, if they liked it, I wouldn't be happy. That's not what I'm saying. And I'm not saying I wouldn't be affected if outside people didn't like what I made. Like, I would be affected by it. But I think it still comes down to the fact that the whole reason why I'm doing a lot of the things I do is honestly for me. Like, Plus 10 started for me. It was not really meant to grow into what it is or any of that. It was for me. Basically, I'm a selfish person.
No. It doesn't equate to selfishness. I still can't figure out if Davy was putting in the lampposts.
Yeah. I mean, he straight up said, though, that... I think it... I don't know. Yes. Random. you've done this thing, but it's not right. So let's make it this, and then it will bow to my belief for
My
what it should be.
needs.
Which I think is very fitting of a game to tell gamers, because of all the mediums, I think gamers definitely have that problem more than most other mediums.
Well,
I
and
know
when
better
you-
than the designer.
When you brought up the mods idea too,
And I'm not saying mods are bad.
No. I've been thinking of that. But it does bring up the fact that no other art form, I said life form, no other art form can you legally change the original. You know, you can write fan fiction, you can make, you know, like short little videos that go alongside a TV show or a movie or whatever, but you cannot go in and actually change the original. And games, you can. And, I mean, in some cases, like Minecraft, you're encouraged to. But, yeah.
I think that oftentimes there's a lot of arrogance in the gaming community.
That the game is for you.
The game is for you, you know best. I'm going to be the one playing it, therefore. And I feel like this is why so many games are kind of soulless, is because even the designers believe the game is for you. The game is for the consumer. It's not, there's no heart in a lot of them. It's just, here's an experience, go play it, we think it's fun.
Right.
And even when they try and have a story that's supposed to be meaningful, it still never is. It always feels like just like this shell of a story.
I think that that's because the authors are so far removed.
Well, that doesn't help. Sometimes, like the Tomb Raider game that made no sense to me, you have the writer came in after the game was complete, I think. And so had to write all the dialogue, and that's why it just didn't make sense. And a lot of the things you did just didn't flow very well. Yes, which is also a huge, huge thing to remember. My mind is like, what? Also, there's also a lot about separating art from the artist, not treating everything as autobiographical. Yes. I know that sometimes you'll see, and again, I'm going to use writing because it's something I know the most about, really, but there are a lot of times where people will take something that a character says and be like, oh, this author thinks this, and it's like, no, they're a character, dummy. I can write something about it, like, and not believe it at all. I can do the opposite of believe it.
I think that's especially true for short form. Like poets all the time are accused of, or, you know, like they'll have people pity them because, oh my God, were you, you know, like assaulted or whatever. And it's like, no, that's what the narrator is saying. I'm not necessarily the narrator. And spoken word poetry is even more likely to get confused.
Yes.
Well, and I guess
Hell, I mean, even this game feels autobiographical because of the way he chose to tell the story.
Well,
Which
and I
was a
think that's a very
fascinating way to
valid-
tell the story.
Right. That's really powerful. way
It
to tell
connects
a
you so
story.
much more. But you
And
can't.
then you're like, oh my gosh, he's, you know, like talking to us sometimes, and then he gets confused and he starts trying to talk directly to Coda, and you're like, your heart goes out to the creator, and it's like, wait a minute.
and
What-
you can never
what's
know.
happening? No.
Which
No,
is
you
the
can't.
beauty of most art. Is that you'll never have, you know, you'll never really know unless they come out and say.
Right.
Alright, I'm not so sure about Portal 2, maybe. We were thinking some Overwatch, maybe, if it'll work. Last time we tried, it didn't work.
Let's try Overwatch, and then if that doesn't work, I want to do Euro Truck blind again.
We were watching, okay, so you know how we did the blind Euro Truck Simulator? We were watching Dan and Phil. Clearly we have a very new obsession. That's how it works. You get into something and then you like watch all of their history. But we were watching them do Portal 2 multiplayer with one person blindfolded and the other one guiding them. Amazing. And we were like, we have to do this again with Euro Truck.
Yeah. We also considered doing Overwatch where she would have the keys and I would have